Hey everybody, it's Pastor Matt, and I just want to welcome you to the end of 2023 and hopefully the beginning of 2024. I thank you guys for spending some time with us this morning while we don't have service, but I'd just like to get some introductions made here.
Yeah, I'm Brad, the worship leader.
Hey, I'm Zach. I'm a youth leader and on the worship team.
Hey, I'm Jessica. I help with the youth and also on the worship team.
And I'm Amber. I run children's ministry and I am a co-ministry leader of Celebrate Recovery.
Nice. Cool. So, as we think about our past year, just talk about some highlights of what you guys would like to share. Maybe one struggle as well for you, and a good highlight for that was important to you.
All right. With me, of course, one of the big things that happened last year was we're in a new building.
Yeah.
So
woo, new building.
Yeah, new building, new space, and so with that, there was I guess one struggle and then one probably highlight. The struggle was moving all of our stuff, all of the sound system, all of that, and kudos to everybody in the church that helped. We did that in 1 week. We did not miss a Sunday, which is crazy.
That was probably one of the toughest days. We were like, hey, what's in service? And guess what? We're loading up trailers 5 minutes later.
So that was probably a struggle, even though we got it done.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely a stressful day to can we have service next Sunday? And we did, and probably that next Sunday and then the Sundays after that, we realized a couple of things, which I would say is a huge highlight. From our old building, we had a stage and then a stage on top of that. And so when we would do worship, we were always up there, and then the first people that we'd see was 20 feet away from us. And I mean, it was fine, everybody was spread out, but here we're a lot tighter. We're in it's still a big room, but we're all tight. And I remember the first time getting to lead, we could hear people sing.
Yeah.
We could hear people worshiping. And then even with us up here, we're not, 100 feet on the other side of the stage. So we could, even it made the band tighter. We could hear each other. And so that was a highlight. I know just being in this new building is the acoustics, but just being able to hear other people worship. And, we all feed off of that.
Yeah.
I think a lot. So that's what I love about this new building. So that's a highlight.
We're fairly new here. I think we started coming beginning of summer-ish. Started helping a little bit before that, I think. But after we were here maybe a month or so, 2 months, something like that, we saw the need in the youth group. Gabriel was obviously doing an awesome job of taking the initiative and doing a Wednesday night Bible study with our boys that were going and a lot of the other students that we have here. But yeah. We heard that there was a need there, and we were like, we had never done youth ministry before, so we were like, ooh. We've done house church with kids in there, but not specifically youth. I'll let her talk more about it, but with her being a teacher, I'm like, I'm going to have to rely on you. I'm like, I can teach adults and research and all that, but I'm like, that's not my wheelhouse.
Right.
It's gauging kids and prompting and all that kind of good stuff.
And that's such a weird age.
Yeah.
I think, because there's some unknowns in communication I get with my boys even.
Definitely.
And they're ranging from 6th to 12th grade. There's a lot of things that
Big
happen.
maturity gap.
Oh yeah. But I would say when we first thought about doing it was adventure was the word that came to mind, because like I said, she does it every day with 6th graders, and with me I was like, ooh, this is going to be interesting. And it was at first, and it still is. We had a great time. Like I said, Gabriel was already doing a great job, and he still is. When he teaches, he just blows me away with the stuff that he's able to come up with. I'll say, hey, let's talk about X, Y, Z, and he'll come in with 3 or 4 pages of notes, and I'm like, you're doing better than I am. But it's been cool to see from day one where nobody really knew us, except for in passing. And there was a little reservation there, obviously, with adults coming in. They're like, I don't know about this, but just the relationships that have been built over the past half year. It's been really cool to see like them opening up more with us. And it's been awesome.
Cool.
We're looking forward, we can talk more about this here in a second, but about the Strength to Stand conference in actually a couple of weeks. So I know we're excited about it. That's going to be really good, and I hope they are. I'm sure they are, but I won't take up too much time. I'll let you.
No, it's great. I'll just start from like a personal standpoint. Like we started coming summer, so we're fairly new to Refuge, but Refuge truly was a refuge for us. I love the people. I love that they love Jesus first. They love each other and they love the community. And I think that's what Refuge is about. And we're excited just to be a part of that. And so, change is sometimes difficult. Like we were used to doing things a certain way and then, joining another group of people. But I just love how, they serve. And I'm glad that we get to be a part of that. And like Brad was talking about worship, it sounds like it was kind of like he felt like it was an us and them, but now it's we. And I love the small intimate space because it is very much we are worshiping together and we are serving together. And so I think, the struggle for me was the change. And, I don't want to say struggle, but, change is hard and getting to know new people. And that's sometimes a struggle. But I have enjoyed getting to know new people. And I think growth has happened. I think God is moving here. And I'm just glad to be a part.
Yeah.
And specifically for the youth, I have so enjoyed getting to know each and every one of the students. We have probably about 9 or 10 that, are regularly coming each week.
That's awesome.
So just excited to get to know and to see how they've opened up and just get excited about studying God's Word. So, people may wonder what we do on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, so can you give us like a little rundown?
Yeah, so every Wednesday night at 6:30, we have pizza. That's provided at 6:30, and so we kind of eat and mingle and talk about our week and, how things are going. And then 7 o'clock, we start Bible study, and Gabriel or Zach usually lead the lesson or Bible study,
right.
Whatever they have prepared ahead of time, and I'm just kind of there to help facilitate and keep the discussion going and asking questions and helping us dive deeper into that with questioning. And then it's been really sweet to hear our students pray for one another. So 7:40-ish. Yeah, so 7:40-ish we kind of wrap up, and then sometimes we pray all together, and sometimes we break into boys and girls and just talk about, the struggles that boys and girls have.
Yeah.
And then pray for each other. So it's been really cool to hear some testimonies and hear the students pray for one another. So it's been great. So I'm really excited for what the next year holds as we continue to grow and hope to do more things together. And,
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Amber, what do you got?
Well, in the children's ministry, I'll just start there. You guys mentioned the new space, and I feel like the space for us in the back with the kids has been a huge blessing. It's still a work in progress. There's still stuff to be done, but it's kind of like little projects here and there that we just, as we're working through it, we figure out, oh, this would be cool to have, or maybe our worship set would work. Yes, a projector would be fantastic. The kids back there, I don't know, they're just so much fun to watch. It's different than worship in the front of the house.
Yeah.
Right? They get into it, and not that we don't get into it up here, but they bounce around, they dance, they sing, to their little heart's content. It's so precious, so cute to see. And it just, I don't know, it warms your heart,
Yeah.
So I'd say with Celebrate Recovery, just kind of switch gears there, the big thing with that, it was just so exciting coming into a church, coming into Refuge, knowing that CR had been here once upon a time. It's been such a huge part of our lives. If you've heard my testimony, then you know that it's brought me through a lot. And it's just, I don't know, it's something that you don't stop. Once you go through it, you don't stop. It's something that you want to share. So the fact that we came into Refuge with already trained leaders, people who had gone through everything, the step study in order to lead, and they were looking forward to continuing it. It was huge for us, I think. For me personally, anyway. I can't speak for Matt, but the biggest highlight this year with Celebrate Recovery is we launched it in August, and it's been a struggle, right? Because it's hard. Ministry is hard. But it's been good. I mean, we see people come through those doors who we don't see on a Sunday morning. They might have their own church that they go to on Sundays. They might not have a church. This is their church. Thursday night is church for them. And I would just love to see more people coming. I mean, people who are coming through the doors, if they're working the program honestly and really listening to the lessons and focusing on God and their struggles, they're going to find healing. And I want people to have that, you know. I want people to find what I found in that. So
cool. Yeah, I think for me, as a pastor, right, trying to lead a church of people, right, myself included, I had to try to lead myself because I had to like really check myself for like personal gain, right, selfishness versus what God's calling us into. I think the biggest struggle for me this year has been understanding how to minister to already quote unquote church people who already believe in God and have grown up in a type of church, or you know, my grandpa was a pastor or whatever. You know, that's been very difficult for me on how to navigate that. But I think one thing that has been super beneficial for this year, and that I'm very like joyful of, not only is this building, but like everybody who serves on the Sunday morning and worship, or in kids ministry, or in Celebrate Recovery, or in youth, you know, is just the continued efforts of people that are coming, right? Like I was allowing that to like weigh me down, like the burden of how to reach people, and I wasn't being appreciative of the people who were coming, if that makes sense. And that's like me being 100% vulnerable and transparent in that. And so there was a switch for me. At one point this year, is like, no, like God is revealing something, and it's this preparedness for something. Like there's something that's being cultivated here, and a foundation that's being built. Matt, like focus on the people who are here and like train them well, and then we're gonna reach and like make these guys disciples essentially. And so I'm excited. That's what got me excited, is like my focus change, right? And instead of being a negative Nancy, moving into more of a
well, it's easy to focus on the things that are going wrong.
It is.
Yeah.
More so than
like
when plans change, you know.
Right.
Like this was the plan, God.
that was my plan.
Well, I think that's why it's so important to come together and serve together, because you know we bounce ideas off of each other. We talk about what's going well, what's not going well, and that's how we grow. And I agree, growing deeper relationships. You know, we would love to see 50 people coming to youth, but if we can grow deeper relationships with each other and grow closer to the Lord, then that's what it's all about. You know? And if the numbers come, great. And if they don't, you know, it's okay too.
Yeah.
I think like kind of piggybacking off of the whole growth thing, you know, when I mention growth or anybody else mentions growth, we automatically go to a numbers game, right? Yeah, again, it would be cool to see us have, you know, 150 people here on a Sunday morning, and we'd really have to think logistically how that would work, because I'm not sure how it would work right now. But you get what I mean? Like, yeah, that'd be really awesome. But the growth that I think we are all meaning is that deeper relationship with not only God, but with each other. Yeah. Well, I think we've seen that with our men's breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Like, there was a need there that we saw as men. And it was like, Zach, you like us three have really kind of taken the reins on, you know, doing a men's breakfast once a month. Yeah. But I think we've seen some good growth there as well. Yeah. And so let's transition a little bit to from 2023 into 2024. Okay. 2023, our word of the year was courage. In case anybody paid attention to any of my sermons this year, I tried to always incorporate some type of courage into it, right? Like it's taking a leap of faith, stuff like that. This year, 2024, our word of the year is going to be gratitude, right? Amber and Brad have kind of steered us in that direction.
Gotcha. That was weird.
Yeah, that wasn't good. But like, and I look at it, you know, what I shared earlier. I wasn't being grateful for the people who are here, and I think, you know, as we move forward as a church, we have to be like in that gracious, gratitude-ish, made-up word-ish. Not gratitude is not a made-up word, but I can't think of however else. But gratitude is so important, and I think we need to focus on that. Give me one thing that you like have a goal this year for your section of ministry, maybe a little bit about that.
Okay. So, again, in the children's ministry, we have, in the past couple of years, we've done baptisms out at West Point Lake. And I would love, love, love to see some littles raised up into being little humble Christians. I mean, and it's going to take more than just a Sunday morning, right? Because we have them for all of an hour, hour and a half, depending on how long Matt preaches. And we are really reliant on the parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, whoever is at home leading them to lead them well. Whether that be reading the Bible or, you know, showing Christ through action, through their love for one another. And I think it's so sweet whenever you can start younger and really live that life for Christ at an early age. And
I think showing like our next generation, what Christian living is supposed to be like is important.
Yeah.
Like, what does it mean to be obedient? You know, how do you do that? Practically, how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you walk with Jesus? And you're right, it starts in our homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want them to be the next generation of, well, my parents were Christians, so I'm a Christian.
Right.
That's not true.
Yeah.
It has to be a personal decision. So I would love to see more baptisms with the church as a whole, but you know, that's,
we'll definitely pray for that.
those are my babes back there, so that's what I'm hoping for. Celebrate recovery. I didn't talk about that for the new year. We don't have any big changes coming because kind of part of CR is keeping it consistent for those who come. Consistency is key. But I am excited to see, again, this growth aspect, right? We're talking about growth. And not so much in numbers. If we have more people coming, then hopefully that means more healing. But right now, we have a good core group. Small leadership, which can be a struggle at times in different areas. But we are starting a women's step study coming up soon in January, like mid-ish January. And if you don't know what a step study is, it's the 12 steps, literally the step study. So, and the difference is between like CR and AA or NA or any of those other A's. We put God as the center. We name Him as our higher power. And the others, they say your higher power. But we know God is ours. So I am excited about that. We've got some women who are pretty antsy to get started, and they're excited to find healing in their own lives, and that energizes me. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So I would like to challenge the church as a whole to come and just encourage the ministry itself.
Yeah.
Whether you come once or you come back every Thursday. Thursday night, 6:30.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll go next, I guess.
Okay.
One thing, like, personally for me, we're talking about obedience, you know, I have a personal goal of just being more obedient myself. That's one of my things. I want to study more. I want to be more prepared in just the daily. Like you're talking about, it starts in our homes, raising our own kids, and in our workplaces and small groups. As far as youth, I want to continue to grow closer to Jesus, of course, and understanding our relationships with Christ and how do we do that? How do we live life together? How do we help these students live their lives for Christ? Growing in those relationships, and then just growing together as a group. I think kicking off the year with a trip, not only just a fun trip, but like I'm really praying that God will move in that, and they just experience the Holy Spirit in a mighty way, and that gets us excited to start off the year. And just doing more things together. I don't know, I don't want to say a monthly thing, but going out and doing more things together. So just continue that. And, if the numbers come, great, but if not, we're okay with that. We're okay with the group that we have, but it would be cool, to see a few new faces.
Yeah. Encouraging them to invite others.
Other people to join us, to
Yeah.
join Refuge. That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's stepping outside of your comfort zone,
Right.
Yeah.
especially at that age.
Right.
I have a hard time with that, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'm with her. We are like stoked about that conference in January. I know that's not the end all be all, but it's a great conference. We've both been a couple of times each, and there's great worship. The gospel is going to be preached. We know that for sure.
Yeah.
There's going to be some good sermons, some messages to obviously tailored specifically to students as opposed to any other conference you may go to. So we're excited about that. Going back to this past fall, though, we do want to say thank you to everyone in the church because through the trunk retreat that we had, which was awesome, by the way,
the bake sale
and
at the trunk
the bake sale at the trunk retreat, and also the quilts that were donated this past year. We had 14 people total that went, and through the bake sale and through the quilt raffle that we had, we were able to cover the entire deposit.
That's awesome.
For everybody, not just kids, but grown-ups as well. So
Yeah.
that was covered.
So it ended up splitting our costs in half. If you think about it, per student or per person going, it cut our costs in half.
That's
So
awesome.
Yeah.
that
That's
helped
incredible.
tremendously.
Hey, thank you guys for that.
Yes.
Thanks for stepping up and supporting because they really, really did.
Yeah, so that means that we'll start a little earlier for fundraising next year. We kind of got behind the 8 ball on that one, but we'll get going with that a little quicker. That way, if we have more kids that are coming in that may not have the funds to be able to go, because it's not cheap. I mean, I think it was like $150, $160 per person to go, especially around the holidays. That's tough to come up with.
Right.
But giving us the ability to maybe say, hey, maybe finances are tough for your family, but we still want you to go because we think it'll be amazing for you, letting you go. But starting the year off with a bang with that, but like Jessica was saying, and you were saying earlier, just building on those foundations that we started talking about back in the summer. What is the gospel? What does it mean to follow Christ? How do you do that?
Right.
And at the same time, just building those relationships, being me and Jess and Gabriel, being there for them if they need to talk about something that they're struggling with, because we see it every Wednesday, and I'm sure y'all do at CR and any other time. We're all going through something. It's just a matter of what it is. It's a matter of how tough it is for us. And so just trying our best to be there for them, and them being there for each other to be able to talk about stuff. Because I can talk to them and tell them blue in the face about something. If two guys are dealing with something, they're like, yeah, man, I understand. It's a little easier for them to understand it than coming from dad. But we're just excited to just keep building on that and just keep building those relationships and just seeing who else God brings. If He brings us another 100 kids, great. If he keeps it to 10, then I'm happy with that. We'll keep building on that and going from there.
Yeah, cool.
Gratitude. I mean, if only there was a worship song.
Seems like we heard that song like every Sunday.
I think they may know that because they sounded really great singing that.
Yeah, we ended the year with that song.
Purposely.
Yes, so we may start the next year with that
Oh,
song. Here's the deal. Off of that, all of that everybody's saying, first off, if you're a part of Refuge, you should be excited about next year. There's just, and it's not even things that we have planned.
Yeah.
I think there's times where we're excited because we know God's doing some stuff, and so we're just like, we're gonna try not to mess that up. But I'll just say, with just gratitude. I got to throw this out here. I'm super thankful. You guys, if anybody that volunteers, you probably see how much goes into just a Sunday morning or a Thursday night or a men's breakfast or anything. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
And same thing with the worship team, with the media, with the soundboard. But I wish I could just wake up on Sunday morning and come in and 5 minutes before we start and it's just
bam.
But there's a reason why we get to worship freely and I think express ourselves is because not only do we have very talented musicians that are gifted, that are using their talents for God, they prepare every week. We have, I want to go down the list, but we have point students that's full-time that come every Sunday, ready, like has more zeal than I have ever seen, is like texting me all week, what are we playing? I can't wait. And I'm just like, it's Monday morning, dude. Like,
Slow down.
Like, we will get there.
I haven't had my cup of coffee
yet. So that's exciting. Like, just you guys being here, exciting. Zach, I think, has done everything here from running sound to playing drums to playing guitar to running Pro Presenter. So I just want to say that. Thank you. And I'll just go down. Maddie. Thank you, Jacob, which we are going to miss you, man. That is a massive.
Absolutely.
Anytime you come back, you got a place up here playing bass. Anytime you come back.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Caleb, that's the guy with the zeal every week. Chris, love having you back. That dude is incredible at anything he picks up. Of course, Jessica, Zach. And Ben, I'm telling you, just his dedication is unmatched in his excitement. And then, of course, rounding out Jessica Holmes, playing the violin, adds so much every week. So anyway, I wanted to say all that. Let's get into next year. I think we kind of have a theme of, you've heard the excitement in the kids. We have every fourth Sunday, if you don't know, we have a fourth Sunday, it's Family Sunday.
Yeah.
So the kids are in here, and it just kind of happened where we would be rehearsing, and the kids were kind of around, and they, I was like, all right, just come up here, and so that happened a couple of Sundays. So now it's like understood, the kids are up there, they're singing. I definitely want to get them more involved. So what we're going to be doing next year, because we've even changed up the worship service where now we're doing one song, we're here preaching, we're doing 3 at the end or 2 at the end.
Yeah.
So, we've changed it up here and there. But what I would like to do is we're going to definitely involve the kids more on those Family Sundays and really have them spearhead a lot of the worship. Because, they bring a excitement and just a passion. This kid like faith. These kids like worship.
Yeah.
Like it's so great. So we got some exciting things for worship as always, and just see where it goes. But I'm excited, but I'm like, God's gonna do something that we ain't even thought of.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, we have to leave room for God. Right? Yeah, plan, but leave room for God. Right. For me, I'm excited for this year. I'm trying to challenge myself. I've been challenged recently, not recently, but in the last few months, about what to preach on this coming year. I like to plan forward in that, just so I have like a good idea of what that's going to look like. And I've been struggling in that area. I was like, man, I don't want to be the typical preacher, I don't want to be, you get what I'm saying? Like, you go to the same one church and it feels like you've already been there type deal. I like edginess. I like making people uncomfortable since 1985 type deal. You know what I mean? Since making people uncomfortable since 2010. That's Refuge Point Church, right? Like, I want to carry that theme.
It's gonna be a T-shirt.
We should make a T-shirt. But what's that?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Watch out. And so I kind of, have been picking up on some nuances what you guys are doing in youth and whatnot. And I think for the new year, we're going to be spending, for the next year, 2024, spending a lot of time in Acts. is what we're going to be doing. Again, going back to basics, allowing first things to be first things and second things to be second things. And so thinking about that kind of stuff, I want to change up my preaching style a little bit next year and kind of push myself in those limits. And so allowing more opportunity for dialogue, more opportunity for conversation within the message that I'm preaching that week. Yes, I will leave room for it. And so people can have a conversation, like, hey, Matt, like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Or if there's a question, I want that dialogue, right? Because, again, it's like a small group, right? We are a small church, but I want to have that for sure. I want people to be, like, ask me questions, and I want to ask people questions. Like, what do you guys think about this?
You want them to engage with you.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Now you've said that before. How are you gonna encourage that to happen more?
That's a great question. So moving.
Y'all got to be willing.
Like providing the environment, and like people are gonna have to step out of their comfort zone and participate. Like you got to do it. Like I think a lot of times as adults we're like, oh well, what do I do with my hands when I worship? Or what do I say? But you really just understand that we're learning together.
Yeah.
And I think it's great because we are really living life together and we're diving into God's word together, just like we're trying to do in a small group.
Well, I want people, like, part of my thought about it is that I want people to be excited to be coming to church here, right? I get excited and I talk about, stuff that I'm excited about. Like, I love running. So if the conversation gets brought up, I'm going to talk about running. Brad loves Auburn football. Like, or he loves guitars, right? Or Zach, you guys have your specific things that you get excited about, right? I want Refuge Point Church to be something that everybody is excited about. And so that's what I'm trying to, like, encourage people to be excited about. Like, man, like, you should check out our church. Well, why? Well, this is the things that happen, right? One of the things that happens here is, well, we get to, when there's a 5th Sunday of a month, we shut the doors and we serve our community. Because we really treasure our community and we want to be we don't want to just be talkers. We want to be doers of the word, right? There's that faith aspect that needs to take place.
So it's not we have to serve, we get to serve.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that. Well, I think as we wrap up here, there are some good things that are going to happen with this coming year, and we're going to serve more. We're going to have more baptisms. We're going to do more outdoor services. One need that I can think of is we need people. We need a welcome team this year, and we need more children's workers in the back. So hit me up. I'm going to start asking people personally to lead those ministries, making coffee, again, welcoming people, putting out snacks and whatnot. From us.
Yes. In fact, if you're still watching this video, you're the ones we're talking to about volunteering. Like, if you made it through, so this should be a sign. You're it.
Well done.
Yes. So come to us. We have a spot if you would like to get involved.
Cool. Well, from all of us here at Refuge Point Church, Happy New Year and welcome to 2024. We love you guys.
Yeah,
Happy New Year. Bye.